Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Today, I'm joined by a former guest, the one and only, the real essence of the mill, my good friend Ray Nitti.
What up, man? What up? Glad to be back,
Hey,
man. Glad to be back, man.
We back in the studio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure ever since the first interview, watching you and just all the moves you've been making in Milwaukee. I gotta say, as always, I've always been a fan, but really, I appreciate all that you've been doing for the community, you know, especially Black and Brown. It's something that is inspirational to me and something I look up to.
I appreciate it.
So,
man, proud of you, man.
Yeah.
The growth, man, from the first episode to where you are now, man, seeing how far you've came, what all you've overcame, man. So much love and respect to you, man, and wishing you much more success on the growth of the platform, man.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
You know, one of the reasons why I reached out again is because, you know, I want to keep this open channel and just, you know, you don't grow you can never grow without a village. I'll put it like that. And I consider you a part of that village. So
Yes,
I just want to see how you're doing today and, you know, what's new.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you ready to jump in?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All
man.
right.
Let's do it.
So since the first interview, how's the music been coming?
Music has been extremely well. Have a lot of music recorded that I haven't really put out yet.
Yeah.
You know, as artists, we always feel like we gotta wait for the perfect time. But as I get older, I'm understanding there is no perfect time, right?
Yeah.
The perfect time is right now. That's what we have. We have right now what's in front of us to deal with. And as I said, I'm getting ready to be 41 this year.
Hey.
You know what I mean? So just understanding that how precious time is right now. And we don't know how much time we have left.
Yeah.
So wanting to put a lot of this music out that I've been sitting on, but not just focus on my own music, but taking an interest in elevating other individuals as well. In particular, right now, I'm working with Desire, an artist from the Congo in Africa, and also working with Tracy Lynn, another artist from Milwaukee as well. Yeah. She's super dope. Not managing, nothing like that, just more so like, if they ask for support and I have the resources to support them, point them in the right direction. You know what I mean? Hook them up with studios, producers, information, whatever those type of things look like. But just really making sure I could be a bridge for other artists to cross as well into their journeys.
That right there is everything, brother. You know, like it's that big brother mentality, you know? Yeah. And, you know, there's so many people, like, we've been doing it. It's going on year 3, but we've been trying to get everyone out there. But you know very well, like, such as I, is how talented Milwaukee truly is.
Absolutely. And diverse, too. Diverse talent.
Yeah, definitely. How's, well, you know, you're very big in the community. How's that been? Any type of community engagements you're in right now?
Right now, man, you know, we still have the community, the creative corridor over on 32nd and Center Street, really focusing on elevating that platform and being an impact to that surrounding neighborhood, seeing how we could attract additional resources to the neighborhood as well, but also elevate the creatives that's working within the space over there. We have Shakes with Power Forward Media.
Yeah.
We have Latasha Smith with Feisty Impressions. We also have Kwabena Nixon, Muhib Dayer, 2 of my mentors. And we also have Biko Baker over there as well. And then Lanisha Martin with Black Men Build over there as well. So we really just have a nice conglomerate of individuals. And we're just using this time and energy to really be intentional about collaboratively creating something that will impact not just what's happening in the building, but the surrounding community and eventually Milwaukee as a whole.
Yeah. Well, I think that's truly major. You know, think about the impact you're making around that surrounding area for young youth to come in and literally express themselves instead of, you know, I always say this: time is very valuable, but it's also dangerous.
Absolutely.
In the essence of, you know, how I grew up, low income, you know, but you know very well with how time is, and with kids that have time and nothing to focus on, it usually doesn't end up anywhere good. So
absolutely.
kudos to you in that.
Yeah, man, just always want to make sure we're doing something positive in the community, whether that's redeveloping or re-inspiring, you know what I mean? And I always say it's easy to redevelop buildings. That's the easy part. The challenge is redeveloping people, redeveloping lives, you know? So, yes, I'm doing a lot in Milwaukee, but I also want to make sure I'm not neglecting my hometown in the Virgin Islands as well.
For sure.
Being you know, a smaller island and understanding that they have a lot of the similar needs that we have in Milwaukee, like access to clean water, access to reusable energy. You know what I mean? Just being able to have access to these things. So housing, you know what I mean?
Oh,
affordable
definitely.
housing is huge. Even looking at the gentrification that's happening in the Virgin Islands as well, and our natives not being able to afford buying some of the houses that are over there. So wanting to see how could I be some sort of beacon or some sort of light to help with those things going on back home, or even not myself. How do I tap in with somebody back home that is already doing those type of things, and maybe I could pivot some resources from the States to the islands and figure out how we could even make a greater impact.
Well, that's definitely honorable. You know, with the creative corridor to the venture now that you're doing with the Virgin Islands, what do you feel that has taught you most about yourself?
I feel like it's taught me most about myself is patience.
Yeah.
Patience, really. That I'm a very ambitious person, and I feel like I've been spoiled by the endless amount of resources that I have. I feel like, I could get things done fast and boom, boom, boom. But as you work in the community and try to do things back home, you have to have a lot of patience, because things don't move as fast in the physical as they may do in our minds, right?
Yep.
And with learning patience, it allows me to manage not getting discouraged, you know, because a lot of times when you don't have that patience and you want things to happen fast and, you know, make it come quick and stuff like that, but you have to have a level of patience. And when it's not developing in the time frame that you have placed in your mind, you start to get discouraged. It's easy to be like, you know, maybe this wasn't it. That's when doubt creeps in. But with patience, you learn to be steadfast in your vision and to stay the course. So I'm learning that I need more patience, as patient as I've become. And I've also learned that I'm really leaning into what I feel my purpose is on this earth, which is to be a service to humanity.
Well, I'm going to do this for you because you deserve this. my boy, it is philanthropy out here. Better not sleep on Ray Nitti. Man. Well, you know, our interview was a couple years ago. How do you think the city has evolved artistically and economically since our last interview?
That's an amazing question. How has the city evolved artistically and economically? Artistically, I think we're a lot further than where we were when we had that last interview. A lot of those folks that I felt like I spoke on that episode, they're excelling right now in the music industry. I think there's a huge light being shined on Milwaukee right now. So I'm grateful for all the artists that are standing in that light. And what I love to see is how they collaborate with each other. Whereas like back then in our era and the era before, you didn't see too much of the collaboration. I'm not saying it didn't exist. I'm saying this generation, they have really done an amazing job at like each one reach one and we bringing each other with us. And I'm extremely proud of how the city has evolved into that. And on a national scale too. You got cats on billboards, man, right here from the city. We had, I want to say, at least two at the same time, possibly even three at the same time. You had JP, Chicken P, and Big Frank. I want to say they all was on top 50. Not top 200, top 300, 500. No, top 50 songs. So I think artistically the city is going in an amazing direction. I'm going to always just challenge folks to pay attention. I ain't saying change messaging. Don't do what's true to you. I'm just saying understand the artistic responsibility we have in knowing that the art that we're creating right now could be what's programming the future generation.
Yeah.
So understand that we have a responsibility with that. And then economically, the city of Milwaukee economically, I feel like we have potential economically, right? We have a ton of potential. But we have still have a lot of wasteful spending, mismanagement of funds and budgets, and favoritism in how resources are distributed in the city of Milwaukee. Oftentimes, seeing the north side and the south side on the lower end of the totem pole when it comes to getting the adequate resources. And even understanding that the north side has its intricate needs, so does the south side. Yeah. And how do we find that middle ground to make sure our Latino brothers and sisters on the south side doesn't feel like, oh, the north side getting all these resources and we're not getting anything. So I feel like I still would like to see these the more affluent districts that get an abundance of resources. Let's share that a little. Let's be a little bit more intentional about how we share those resources. And that was one of the main reasons why I did run for the fourth alderman.
I was just about to get in
You
that.
feel what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just about being intentional about how we share these resources. Yeah, downtown is going to always be good. It's going to always be good. Because they say you develop downtown and it trickles over to these, but that's not the truth.
It's not.
That's the send off. You know what I'm saying? No, you develop the north side and the north side to develop. You develop the south side and the south side to develop. You feel what I'm saying? You be intentional about it. You don't intentionally tell me just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I think I said this on the last show and they're still saying this. Yeah. When I was 14, 15 and moved to Milwaukee, they said develop downtown Milwaukee and it'll spread. Yeah. And then when I did your show, they said it was the same narrative. Same thing. Now it's the same thing. Like no. I'm 41 now. So it's like I don't got that type of time to just keep waiting. No, we'll do it.
What do you feel inspired you most to jump into being active with running for District 4?
What inspired me the most was just understanding what District 4 represented for not just the city of Milwaukee, but the state of Wisconsin as well. And also the artistic and entrepreneurial community in the city of Milwaukee as well. Knowing that I had visions of wanting to do things like South by Southwest in Milwaukee, you know what I mean? And being able to partner up with the bars and all of these different establishments downtown Milwaukee and having somebody that would have vision that could support something like that, and knowing how that would economically impact, our downtown, how that would economically impact the artists getting paid to perform at these bars and these lounges and these different things. So those was a lot of the things that inspired me too, and more so like just really wanting folks to to see me as more than just Ray Nitti that made Bow. Because a lot of times I'm in these rooms saying a lot of these same things, right? But they all automatically see you with your artist hat on. You feel what I'm saying? So now when you get in somebody, you know, I like to say cause good trouble. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So when I like to cause good trouble because now it's like, oh shoot, like this guy could really come in here and disrupt some things. Maybe we should take him a little bit more serious. So I was able to have amazing meetings with people that I probably been trying to meet with for 10 years. But being able to sit down with them now and share vision and share ideas. And even, I'll say this too, right? Because I got to be all the way 100. So the narrative that I feel like I needed to clear up from my own experience is that the folks that live in these affluent districts and areas and neighborhood pockets, they don't care about the North Side. Yeah, they just care about their own world, and they don't want to figure out how to and that was the furthest thing from truth. Yeah. People always was telling me, "Oh, Nitti, they not gonna rock with you. You got dreads. You a rapper. You were like." Wow. I'm the same rapper with dreads that they was listening to the music for. So exactly. Like they supported me with my music. So why would I think they would hate me because now I want to help make the city a better place? That didn't make sense to me. And the folks in the lofts over by Sail Loft, the most affluent lofts over there in the state of Wisconsin, they were saying things like, how can we be more supportive of what's going on the North Side? How can our tax dollars impact something positive on the North Side? Yeah. Because they understand, no, you invest in the North Side, then everything else trickles around because now you have folks that, what you just said earlier, idle time. If you give people something to do at that time, these are the conversations that I was having, and I just had to really take a step back from a lot of the things that was fed to me, right? And I'm not saying there's no areas where it might be a little difficult. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had some difficult times on the campaign trail, but to make it seem as if like I was gonna have more difficult times than great times, it just wasn't true. And I think we have to stop spreading these narratives and start spreading more love and start being more intentional about going to see each other and have conversations. We're like, okay, what's going on the North Side? What's going on the South Side? What can we a lot of, they got needs similar to us. Like they want a grocery store as well. You know what I mean? They got a food desert as well. They might want a Syndics. Yeah. They might not want the Aldis. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But they still want things like healthy food. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I feel like we're way more similar than we are different. And if we lean into our similarities, we'll be able to understand our differences. Yeah. And once we understand our differences, we'll better know how to love each other a little bit more. So.
Well, I'll tell you first thing foremost, it was inspirational to see you do that, to step out of, you know what I mean? Music is primarily, it has been your thing throughout this career. But for you to step into a role like that where trying to make that positive impact and really recognize not only the social issues, but economic issue, you know? Milwaukee, like I said earlier, you know, we have so much. It's like we're a hidden gem, and we're finally getting this light on our city. And for you to be in the front line, trying to, you know, raise these kids to see the potential within themselves, that's what I took from that. So I just want to give you your flowers and tell you thank you for taking that step. It's brave. Most people say they can do it, but talk is cheap. You know what I mean? You either walk the walk or you don't talk at all. Absolutely. Like, so for you, thank you again for that. I appreciate that. You know, artistically, you being, you know, a veteran out here, and watching some of the artists that you're building up right now, and just artists in the city right now, what do you feel are the challenges they face, being that you've seen another side of the industry they haven't, and how can they overcome the barriers and set in their path?
Barriers that I feel like a lot of these artists have now is gatekeeping. I feel like they have a bunch of older artists, older individuals that were in the entertainment or still is participating in the entertainment, and they kind of gatekeep, information, access, things like that. But what in them having to deal with that, because we had that level of gatekeeping that we had to deal with too, right?
Yeah.
But their generation has a level of freedom that we didn't necessarily have, where now they are more direct to consumer than we were. We needed to, until Apple Music started and TuneCore, you know what I mean? We really had to figure out how to get your music to folks. You needed to talk to executives and things of that nature. But they have way more freedom where you could, you know, be a star right away, like JP. And it's not, he still had to put in work. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he also he had the tools now where he could record that song in his room. He could record Bad Bitty in his college dorm room. You feel what I'm saying? They dance and do the TikToks, and they have those things. So the gatekeeping is not necessarily as impactful to them because they have a level of freedom as well, that they don't need to rely on the gatekeepers in order for them to continue to pursue their dreams and things like that. Whereas, back then, you'll have a DJ just say, I don't think he's ready yet. You know what I'm saying? And won't service your record to the other DJs. You know what I'm saying? So it just all depends. But those are like the biggest barriers, and just the lack of information.
I'm glad you brought that up, because
just the lack of information.
Even starting off with this, I went through something like that. But then it quickly, my work ethic has proven by itself. But like I said, I've dealt with a lot of people to get into inner circles that most can't. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked the day that we initiated that on social media about doing the interview. I thought, you know what I mean, it was a blessing. I was like, thank God. But it's like, trying to cross those lines, and a lot of people withhold information. Absolutely. You were one of those that have helped me along this way, and it's definitely, I can totally back you 100%. Gatekeeping is an issue in this city. Yeah, absolutely. Now, you as an artist, entrepreneur, and a community leader, those are a lot of, roles to fill and balance out. How do you manage throughout your days, your weeks, to manage all those roles you play?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring out how to manage it all, because I'm a creative at heart. So I'm always thinking of a new idea and how to do something else, and what's the next thing? What's the new thing? What's like, okay, we did the community within the corridor. Like, what's next? Like, what's the next impactful thing? And I think finding that balance is just really figuring out what your flow is of the day, man, because so many things comes and goes with that as well. You got to pick up kids from school. You got meetings for nonprofit organizations. You got sessions for folks that want to do music. So you're tired a lot. Absolutely. I got a daughter in college now. My son is in high school now.
Let's do this for them.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like understanding now that, like, okay, my time is very precious, and it's like I don't want to regret not enjoying those moments of like being present for my daughter's college years, or being present for my son's high school years. So just trying to figure it out. And life is spontaneous as a creative, so finding that balance is always going to be a challenge in itself. And that's where that patience comes in.
Yeah.
You try to break it up and say, oh, I'm gonna work on this at this time for this time. I'm gonna work on this day. But sometimes I might need more time to be creative. Sometimes I might need more time to sit down and organize contracts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might need more time to sit down and look at the real estate deals that I got coming up. But the best way to balance it is having a very, very reliable team.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say is the best way to balance it. But finding that team that could fire like you're firing and could be as inspired as you're inspired and self-driven, that's the challenging part.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will be inspired for 48 hours,
Yeah.
2 weeks, but can you do it for a year consistently? Can you show up for a year and be a part of this team and really help take this thing to the next level? Or is it, man, I just need to come, get paid real quick, Nitti, because I need to take care of it. I got a lot I need to take care of too, but I know my bigger goal isn't just, all right, I need to just pay this real quick. My bigger goal is how can I save as many lives as I can before I don't have any much time left.
Yeah.
And you need a dedicated team to that. So, and we got a pretty good team, but it's always room for some more amazing people. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the collective you have over at the Creative Corridor. You named them off earlier. What are let's go in depth. Like, what are programs that are being offered throughout the building to help our youth rise and just
So that's actually great that you asked that. We actually getting ready to launch our after school program, probably either mid-March or maybe kick it off top of April. But Monday through Fridays, after schools from like 4:00 to about 6:00, 6:30, you'll have anything from meditation, right? Because I believe mindfulness is the first thing, right? We have to control our minds. Then we're going to do things like art therapy with Latasha Smith and Feisty Impressions. We're going to have streaming and media training with Power Forward Media.
Shout out to them.
Shouts out to homie Willie Shakes. And then the homie DJ New Styles will be offering DJ classes. I'll be offering an alternative expression writing classes.
Yeah.
So then we'll have recording as well and podcasting and all of these different things as well. But what they work on during the week is you have all of these different mediums that you'll be working on. But at the end of the program, what are we going to collaboratively create? Yeah. Whether that's a live show, whether that's a play, whether that's a project, or whatever that looks like. If we're a short film, whatever it is, we need music for it. We need the film, the play. It all needs to be scored, right? So that's kind of a lot of the things that we'll be working on. Just pushing the creative envelope and getting their hands on some things to help them amplify their own individual voices as well and telling their own stories.
Yeah. You've been active, like I said before, since our last interview. One of the things that I was surprised to see you on is to show off that rhythm. Rhythm with them dancing skills.
Stepping with the stars.
Stepping with the
stars, yeah.
What inspired that? How did that come about?
So Melissa and the lady who's over the Stepping with the Stars and my homegirl Tiffany, who works with her as well, she had suggested me, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. And it was for a good cause. It was about cancer, and I had some family members that I love dearly that passed away from cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
So it was something that I did to honor their lives as well. And it was just once again something different. You know what I mean? I'm always wanting to challenge myself as well. I don't ever like feeling too comfortable. So if I'm uncomfortable, that means I'm growing.
Yeah.
So that's what got me into stepping with the stars. But that was fun though. It was extremely fun. Shouts out my guy Mike Hill. He's actually doing it right now.
Yeah,
too. Yeah. So he's up things like that. You could come up to the corridor and use the dance space so you could get your moves together. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was stepping with the stars, man.
Now since then, this is a lot, bro. Like, there's no better feeling than watching it like happen and just witnessing this type of greatness that's coming from you. How are you managing to stay as motivated and on point as you have?
I'm not gonna lie. My motivation comes from helping get others in positions that they aspire to be in. So even if I could connect somebody to something and then see them actually take it and elevate to the next level, that's inspiration for me to keep going. Because if I don't have the resources that I have and I can't share them with anybody, then it's just what purpose do I have if I'm not a service to humanity, right? If we collected all of these amazing resources just to keep them to ourselves, that's kind of selfish.
Yeah.
And I want to leave this earth empty, but I don't want to also pour from an empty cup though while I'm here. When I leave, I want to be empty, but I still want to be filled. So while I'm pouring, So I find my inspiration in helping others, seeing the growth in others, and really just knowing that everything that I'm doing is greater than myself.
Yeah.
And that's how I keep pushing, man. Just never being satisfied. Shoot, I still want to buy the Bucks.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So having those type of goals and aspirations is very, very high on my list, and it's a level of work you got to do to get to that point.
Well, Bow is still a banger till this day.
Absolutely.
Time to time, I'll send you a snap like in the club, or if I'm out and about, I hear it, send it to you. But TikTok the past year has really came on to a dancing trend with it.
Yeah.
How has that made you feel to see that it's still going as strong as it was when it was released?
Man, it makes me feel amazing because those are type of the things that keeps me motivated. Those are the type of things that keeps me young as well. And inspired because you never know. Like, you always got to keep working so you always prepare because you never know. You just never know. Like, we put Bow out in 2009.
Yeah.
TikTok brought it back. Virginia in particular had brought it back, right? With another dance, and then most recently, as in 2024, end of 2024, these young fellas had brought it back. I want to say they from New Orleans, but they did the more like the wedding ring one where they was pointing at the ring, but that one is going viral as well too. So it's just great to be able to see that the song still is working to this day, right? And a lot of people would be like, "Oh, one hit, you got you one hit wonder," and blah blah blah. Like, it only take one.
It only take one.
It only take one hit to open endless doors. Now, what you do with that one hit, what doors you walk through, that's up to you. But it only takes one. You feel what I'm saying? So don't let anybody tell you that, oh, you a one-hit wonder. So how many people still waiting for one?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me how many people still waiting for one. Tell me how many people still waiting for one like Bow.
Yeah.
Where you could drop it in 2009, sustain the lack of social media.
Yeah.
And so tell me.
Yeah.
I'm not one that brag, but tell me.
And that's the thing. That is the thing. All it takes is one. And for those that, you know what I mean, the experience of creating that, to putting it in motion, to being accepted by the city in the way it is, that's something nobody could take from you.
Absolutely.
So it's always great to see that, because we all know that 414 pounding real loud,
Straight up.
Let's talk about hip hop.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The culture of hip hop right now, the state of hip hop. How do you feel that is right now?
State of hip hop. We could go all over the place with that, right? Very broad question. I would say we have a responsibility as artists to understand that the art that we create could possibly be programming a generation to come, and understanding that the future generations have access to music and things way earlier at a way more impressionable age.
Yeah.
What responsibilities will we have? Yeah, we could say your parents is, parents, what you letting your kids listen to and stuff like that. But it's like, what are we creating? You know what I mean? I always say we have, the creator gave us free will, right? We have the ability to create, we have the ability to destroy.
Yeah.
Which one do we want to elevate on? Do we want to elevate on the vibration of lightness, or we want to elevate on the vibration of darkness? Now, that's up to the storyteller. That's up to the person telling their truths, right?
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes we all have some dark truths that we're articulating through music, right? But I can't remember. I want to say it might have been Kanye, because this isn't me saying this, but I think I might have brought it up on the podcast as well. The redemption of the music, right? Like, tell your story, but what's the redemption in the song? So you wrap that story up all the way, and you let your consumer know, like, yo, yeah, I made these choices and I wasn't proud of them. I did it to do this, but then I turned my life around and blah, blah, blah. But I think we just gotta, the state of hip hop is, we gotta be more responsible. I don't want to tell anybody what to do, what to create.
Yeah.
But shouts out to my brother D1.
Okay.
I know D1 would say, nah, Nitti, we got to tell them what to create.
Yeah.
Because that's how we going to save lives, by telling them what they creating is poisonous. And we don't need to be poisoning no more sisters and no more brothers. And I believe that wholeheartedly, right? But I also believe that people need to do it at their own pace and not feel forced or pressured, because then you have that rebellious spirit, right? I try to make sure the things that I'm putting out there, I'm not perfect. I'm still working on how to tell the story in a way that isn't damaging to the consumer, right? Or isn't sexualizing our women, right?
Yeah.
So just figuring on those things out. But I agree wholeheartedly with the stance that D1 takes and says, like, no, we can't, stop that. You can't say you care about your community if you pushing drugs in your music, if you pushing killing another brother in your music. It's like, oh, you love your community, but you just told all these other young individuals to tool up and go, handle business.
Well, I got a question for you then. Touching base on just the feelings. What was your opinion with the whole Drake and Kendrick feud? One side saying culture vulture, and the other side saying like a pro blackness, and you know what I mean, really stance on, how did you feel about that?
I think that this is great, because me and my wife was just had this conversation last night, right, where we listened to all the songs in a row. But I think this moment was absolutely needed for the culture. I want to choose my words wisely, because I know a lot of people watch your platform. I'm not trying to start nothing between nobody or block anybody's
controversy.
You feel what I'm saying? But what I will say is, the culture vulture stuff. Let me start with the black activism stuff, right? I thought when he was taking those stands by saying, oh, you know, he always rapping like he trying to get the slaves freed, and it's like, you don't want us to be free? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Or even him saying like, you know, he makes music for women to twerk with a dictionary to, and it's like, you want the women to be uneducated? So when Kendrick doubles down and says, once upon a time we was all in chains, you know what I'm saying? Homie doubled down, still calling us some slaves. Like, that's powerful, right? Because it's like he is trying to mentally free us despite whatever route people think he's taking to do it, or whatever, right? He is telling folks about the real of the industry. He is telling folks about what's going on. And you do have Drake and I love Drake, but he focuses on the party. He focuses on having a good time. Nothing wrong with that, right? But understanding that there's a certain level of folks that want the Kendrick, and then there's a certain level of folks that want the Drakes. You feel what I'm saying? I think now going to the culture vulture stuff, dang, this gonna be.
This is it. This is the
one. Man, shouts out my dogs, Prep, Business Boy, my homie Chibu, man, OVO. Y'all know it's all love, man. I promise it's love. But if I'm telling the truth, right, and we just talking about and is it vulturing? Like, maybe it's not vulturing. Maybe it's just collaborating. You know what I'm saying? But we have seen Drake borrow.
Yes. Very much so.
You feel me?
Yep.
Like, we have seen him borrow. I ain't talking about nobody writing for him. I'm just talking about music. Even him doing a bunch of reggaeton songs now in Spanish. For sure. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. I love it all. I'm just saying, but that doesn't mean it's not the truth. You know what I'm saying? Even with the...
Most can argue, though, that they could say it's him opening up a diversity, and you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, the more you reach, the more...
And when I don't blame him, right?
Yeah.
I'm also not going to ignore what is happening. Yes, when you're the biggest artist and you reach so far... in my opinion, you would naturally try to, you have all these other artists want to collaborate with you. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? I know you got reggaeton artists want to collaborate with him. He's in Canada that is surrounded by a bunch of Caribbean folks as well. So I could understand why he would have some Caribbean inspiration, right? Yep. I think, I don't know, man. I just feel like I love the Drake that I fell in love with.
For sure.
The Heartbreak Drake, the October's very own, the comeback season.
The Above It All, man.
The Say It All. You feel what I'm saying? Like that was the ones that we was on road trips playing that all. But I just feel like he did what he needed to do to grow as an artist. And the word culture vulture could be a little bit harsh. I've used it. Yeah. I can hear my boy Weave right now, like, no, Nitti, say what you what you be saying. But people make it seem like you can't tell the truth and love the artist. You feel what I'm saying? I love the music. I love the music, but I also, and this could be selfish on the consumer side, right? Yeah. We like our artists to do what we like, what we are accustomed of our artists doing, right? What he say? What Kendrick say? I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough. Yeah. But I feel like he's probably just exploring creativity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Creatively as an artist and telling different stories in different ways. The more tune for your head top, was that a little annoying to me? Sure, but that's me. Who am I? That like he is responsible. He's the one creating it. He has to deal with it, not me, right? So whatever somebody creates at that time, that's right for them. Now, all the outside noise, that's subjective, right?
Yeah.
Some people may love it, some people may not. Some people may not even be in tune with what's going on. But I think the battle in itself was amazing just for the sport of hip hop and rap and so forth. And Drake did try to change the rules a little bit how battle rap is, but I guess when you the biggest,
can't sue him, Drake.
You're like, hey, come on, man.
Come on, man.
It's all good, man. Shouts out to my peoples though over there, man.
Well, you were artists. You were in this industry. You were exposed to most things that most people won't ever get to see. If you could talk to a younger version of yourself right now, and you could put them in front of you, what would you say to that younger version of you?
Follow your mind.
Follow your mind.
Follow your mind.
Yeah.
Like everything else. Like, I'm not saying don't listen to what nobody said, but trust your instincts, because your instincts is right all the time.
Gotcha.
And if they not right, it's a lesson that you're going to get out of it. But if you got a vision and you believe in it, follow it. Don't let anybody else's opinion deter you from what your belief is, because their opinions is based on their own doubts and fears of their own lives, right?
Yeah.
Things that didn't work for them, things that people told them not to do it this way because it wouldn't work. And as Jay-Z would say, like, no, I didn't work for you that way. But I believe that it's going to work for me. So that's what I would say to myself, man. Man, if you believe in something, hold on to that belief, because that's precious. And as soon as you let any doubt creep in, any second guessing creep in, your whole shit could crumble.
Yeah.
Because belief is the foundation that we build dreams on. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you with all these connections to the music industry, and with you being the person, have you ever thought of being an A&R?
That's crazy. I did think about reaching out to like a label and probably doing some A&R work. But I also felt like, I don't know, is A&Rs really needed in today's world, where everybody's their own engineer, their own producer, their own distribution?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people going straight to iTunes, Spotify from their house.
Yep.
So it's like so much of that in between is cut out now. And like so many of those A&Rs lost jobs, you know what I mean? So it's like the industry has shifted. Maybe a consultant. Okay. Definitely consultant. And telling the A&Rs what's hot. I said it on your last show. I'm gonna say it again. I remember where the Afro beats in 2000, whatever that was. I told my homie, shouts out my guy Bobby Fisher, A&R Empire. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was putting him up on the Afro beats. He was like, man, Nitti, I think it's only, man, it might be around for a year or two, but I think that's gonna die out. Here we are 15 plus years later. Afro beats is the biggest genre right now. You feel what I'm saying? So you got Burna Boy, WizKid. And back then I was putting him up on WizKid. Yep. And he was like, I don't know, man. But now shortly after, he was promoting the WizKid and Ed Sheridan remix. You feel what I'm saying? So belief, though. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? That's that belief. So if once again, you think these folks are the experts, right? We look at the A&Rs like they're the experts. But one thing we understand is like we're expert in our cultures as well. Yeah. So can't nobody tell me that, okay, now that Afro beats is at now soca music. You feel what I'm saying? Soca music will be next. And it may take 2 years, 3 years. Will it be as wide as Afro beats? I'm not sure. But I know soca music, or Bram, we call it all types of different type of music. But calypso, that is among us right now. Whereas lot of people are just starting to go experience carnivals in all of these different islands. So just understanding and holding on to your belief, man. That's extremely important.
Yeah. Well, self-discovery with an artist is very much major, as well as just where the industry has gone. What do you feel is a misconception people get from the music industry that that you've been through this process?
That is real.
That is real.
People think this shit real. Excuse my language.
Yeah, no, you good, man.
This shit ain't real, man. This shit it's a highlight reel.
Yep.
People show you the highlight reel, tell the highlight stories of their life, but behind them filters, man, it's a lot of I smile a lot to hide a lot.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of pain behind the smiles. People just get the end result.
Yeah.
They don't see the man. I was lucky that I have some sort of education to have not taken a bad deal back then.
Yeah.
And to own my masters. You know what I'm saying?
You go.
So it's like, I don't know. It's just like, man, I just remember that I walked in. Was it Universal? It had to be Universal Music. I went with Saoirse and Avery Lippman. Meeting with Avery Lippman. And the T-shirt I had on, it said, "Own Your Masters."
Yeah.
And it was like, I wanted to go in there and say a message without having to say a message. Yeah. Long story short, we didn't do the deal. But, it's just, man, you just gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, you gotta believe in yourself first and foremost. You gotta. Yeah. It's knowing your worth.
Absolutely.
When it comes down to it. Now,
Absolutely.
Do you feel? What do you hope for your legacy when it's all said and done?
For my legacy, when it's all said and done, is that my legacy continues.
Yeah.
To move on, even without me. Somebody else picks up the work.
Yeah.
I want to inspire somebody else to be like, that shit Nitti was on, that shit was needed. Like, he was trying to get black and brown people to unite and understand that, our voting power is stronger together. And our economical power is stronger together. What can we learn from each other as black and brown people? I love how my Latino brothers and sisters stick together when it comes down to economics. Like, they shop with each other. You know what I mean? I wish that we could learn that spirit from our Latino brothers and sisters. And for my legacy, man, I just want to be known as somebody that really loved 100%, that was loyal, and I really cared about redeveloping people, black and brown people, and understanding that we have the power. From the Virgin Islands to Milwaukee, Puerto Rico, Santo Domingo, DR, all of these neighboring islands that influence my life. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of Dominican stuff because they was around us, and we kicked it in the islands, and we shared culture, we shared community, we shared resources.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like I want my legacy to represent, man. Just elevating each other, loving each other, and being intentional about really bringing it all together, man. And I don't know, start good trouble, man.
Hey.
Start some good trouble.
Well, it's always a pleasure.
Man, love always, man.
Before we, I always end these interviews like this, but with the climate, the culture right now, what's advice you would give to our youth?
With the climate, with the culture of everything, man, just looking at what's going on in the Congo, what's going on in Haiti, what's going on in Palestine, what's going on in Israel. I feel like we're all humans caught in the middle of somebody else's
Crossfire. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And understand that like everybody has a story. And if you don't understand that person's story, don't be quick to judge or be like, oh, that's an immigrant. They need to go back. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm the son of an immigrant. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I think we just got too much like negative energy that's just stirring. I hated seeing what was going on between Israel and Palestine because you got innocent kids,
women,
but you all, women, families. But I think it was also easy to forget that it was hostages on the Israel side as well sometimes, right?
Yep.
Because we get so passionate about what we see the most of. And then you understand that, like, despite whatever Netanyahu and whatever, that's the distraction. The real is in between, it was people that wanted their loved ones to come home that was just kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? And then you had people that was just being wrongfully murdered because of a age-long
battle,
right? That some may never understand from the outside looking in. So I just I don't know, man. I feel like I just want us as humanity to, like, let's be a little bit more patient with each other. Let's love each other a little bit more. And I know I'm not perfect, man. I know I'm not perfect at all. And I'm trying to understand more. You know what I mean? I could admit my wrongs. I could admit when I misspeak or when I get too passionate, when I need to listen some more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm human. I'm human. But that's what I would say to the youth, man. Like, don't get caught up in the entertainment of things, because real life is still happening, man, and it's easy to just get lost. And I don't know, that's what I say, man. My bad.
Hey, you good, man. Again, I appreciate you. What are ways people can get a hold of you, contact you, work with you?
Man, hit me up on IG, man. Ray Nitti, RayNitti, Facebook, RayNitti, or the Creative Corridor MKE.org. The Creative Corridor MKE.org. Yeah, man, hit me up. Let's tap in. Let's work. Whatever you trying to do, let's make it happen, man. From videos to podcasts to DJing lessons to all of these things, man. Sipping paints, movie nights. We're really getting ready to turn a lot of things up in the city here.
Yeah.
So,
well, again, Nitti, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your time, and you already know you a lifelong friend.
Big up the VA.
Hey, with that being said, you already know. Spearhead out.